Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another installment of Pod Gaming's Blank or No! Alright folks, here are the rules. Each episode, your hosts Marshall and Shawn will discuss a certain aspect of video gaming. Each host will present their case for whether or not the trope is a good idea. Take it away, Marshall and Shawn!
Hello and welcome to the next installment of the Philosophy of Gaming. I'm Shawn and this is Marshall, and today we're doing another blank or no video. This topic is spoilers or no. This one's a little bit interesting because it doesn't necessarily have to apply to just video games. It could be movies or TV shows and things like that.
Definitely.
So everybody knows the basic premise. This thing or no, we have to give a definitive answer one way or another. I think this will be the first time where you and I actually agree. I'm guessing.
Okay.
So, with that said, spoilers or no? Marshall, kick us off.
No.
No as well, but why?
I don't like spoilers because I feel like the whole purpose of playing a game, to me, if it's story-driven, is to enjoy the story and be surprised and excited and just all of that in regards to the story. I feel like is the best part. That's the purpose of playing the game, is to enjoy that story.
You want to take the journey.
Right.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who, some of my closest friends actually, who just don't care. They're not story people. They want to play. They just like the action, the combat, you know. They play games like Call of Duty and stuff like that for the purpose of just getting that good KD and stuff like that. And I just don't. I don't really like that. I want to enjoy this story. I want to learn something, even if it's just a story. It's, you know, it's like reading. I don't want a spoiler for a book. I don't want a spoiler for a movie. You know, like it'll ruin the experience for me. If I know what's going to happen already, then, well, what's the point of the journey to get there if I already know?
Yeah, and I think that's kind of where I am too. That's the more obvious point, I think, to make on this topic, because this kind of goes back to the Uncle Jack video. A good story, a good narrative is good art, and good art can just really strum on your little feelings on the inside, and you want to feel the moments of like the laughter or fear or sadness, whatever the story has to offer. You want to take that emotional roller coaster when you're going through it. So I think for obvious reasons, spoilers suck.
I agree. Spoilers suck.
Now, I have a different take. Now, obviously, I think we're both definitively no on this.
Definitely.
But I think there's some points that I want to make about this topic, and just to kind of put a little bookend on this last point, I remember there's a saying it was some famous movie critic. I don't even know who it was, how long ago it was, but I remember he was asked, if you could have any one wish, what would it be? And this guy said that, if I had one wish, I wish I could go back in time and watch my favorite movie for the first time again.
And that reason is apparent.
Yes.
Because they didn't want to know what happened.
Let that kind of simmer in your head a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
But here's another thing too. This spoilers or no thing, it's actually kind of an interesting binary if you think about it, because I don't think there's really anybody that was saying like, yes, spoilers, I love spoilers. Nobody really says that. So if anybody is on the other end of it from you and I, it's not that they like spoilers, it's just that they're indifferent.
Maybe it's that they don't want the stress of wondering.
I think it simply comes down to not caring.
I think for the most part that's true.
And I think that there's something to be said about you as an individual if you just don't care about something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to kind of throw my wife under the bus here a little bit. I mean, she's more kind of on the not spoiler side like you and I, but like if I'm watching a TV show at home and it's something that she doesn't care about more or less, or if like we're watching a show and it's kind of taking a turn where it's just, okay, this is kind of starting to become a little crappy now, we don't want to keep watching it, she will, like in the middle of watching it, go on Google and find out like what happens on the end of it.
On a similar but different note, my girlfriend will go look even when she's enjoying it. And then she'll read all about it, and she'll know everything that's about to happen. I'll ask her a question about something that's happening in the show. I'm like, what do you? And she's like, oh, this is what happens. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like what? Why?
I feel like you enjoy it a little bit less. I don't mind that she does it. I think it's pretty cool that she gets so interested in it that she wants to find out more faster than it's happening on screen. But for me, I would rather not have that. I'd rather not see it at all. I purposefully, if I'm watching a show that's already completely out and I could go search anything up, I try to avoid that stuff. If I'm reading on one of the fandom pages for a show, I stop when I get to the point where we're at. Get a little information, a backstory, maybe reorient myself with where we're at if it's 2-3 seasons in with that character. And then when I get to that point, I'm like, I don't want to keep reading because I don't want to know what happens. I still don't know what happens at the end of Game of Thrones. I've watched that show 4 times, and only the last time I watched it was the last season out, and I haven't seen the last season. We ended up stopping in the middle of it for one reason or another, and I still haven't looked, and I still haven't been told a spoiler either. People have asked, and I said, don't tell me a spoiler. I want to...
Spoiler alert, it sucks. The last season sucks.
That's the spoiler that I've gotten from everyone. But
yeah.
But, I would rather experience that for the first time myself. I would rather be mad about the show in real time than someone telling me while I'm, sitting in a little conversation and someone just lets me know. And I'm like, oh... Well, now I don't need to watch it,
It kind of sucks that you say that because I was actually going to use a particular episode in the last season of Game of Thrones.
Thankfully, I said it. I would have interrupted you.
Yeah, but see, out of respect for you, I'm not going to give you that spoiler. And this is
appreciate
where, for me, speaking of spoilers, I'm a very opinionated person.
Really?
Yeah, go figure, right?
Huh.
I get very peeved by people who I know, family, friends, what have you, that just love to spoil things for me. Like, we'll be sitting, having a barbecue or something like that, talking about, this always happened to me for some reason with Sons of Anarchy, back when that was a big thing. Everybody I knew loved that show, and everybody would just love talking about what happened. And I would say, like, stop ruining this for me. And, I'll be honest, I still haven't finished it. So I know that some of that's on me, but it's like... I think that people that like to give spoilers, I think that's a character flaw on their part.
Oh.
And I think there's 2 reasons why. One is that, first of all, there's the type of person who I think is kind of like your old lady, what you were talking about, how she'll sit there and like look up what's going to happen before you watch it. And for some reason, maybe they're like this drive that it's like, I just want to be the first person to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She won't ruin it. I'll ask her not to.
I know.
She won't.
That's not what I'm accusing her of. But I'm saying, like, that's the type, like, that's one type of spoiler embracing person, is somebody that they just want to be like the first to know. It's almost like it's some sort of like a status thing, maybe. That way they can say like, oh yeah, I knew about this, that, and the other thing, blah blah blah.
The funny thing is, real quick tangent, when she doesn't know something and I do, because I've seen it and she knows I've seen it, she'll ask me what happens, and then I'm like, well.
Yeah,
I know you'd prefer to know, so I'll tell you. A lot of the time. Sometimes I'll leave it to the moment, but then I'm like, well, she might go look it up, so
yeah,
I may as well just tell her.
My wife does that too. Like, if we're watching something that I've seen before and she has it, she'll ask questions. I'll be like, well, if you just shut up and watch it, then you'll know in like a minute. You know what I mean?
I don't want our women to think that we're ragging on them right now.
I'm okay with it. I'm indifferent. I don't care. To go back to a previous point.
We love you.
Yes, whatever. But another thing that this is like the one character flaw thing that it just grinds my gears. I know people, and people in my family that do this, that they just like to spoil things for you just because they find it like funny. Which, yeah, okay, sure, maybe, haha, joke's on me. But it's like you're also sending the message that you are okay with depriving me of appreciating something good.
Yeah, it kind of sucks. It kind of sucks to have something ruined for you if someone specifically knows you don't like it, for then to just ruin it and treat it as a joke. It's sad. Because you're like, well, haha, but...
Like, hey, Marshall, guess what? Darth Vader is Luke's father. It's like, well, thanks.
Yeah.
You know, everybody knows that one.
I actually didn't know that.
Yes, you did. You Star Wars freak. Yeah. This one, it bugs me a lot because, like I said, good video games, good movies, good TV shows. It's all good art, and art should be appreciated in the moment for the first time. And if somebody takes that moment from you, you know, I say it's shame on them.
Yeah. I mean, suspense is the number one reason that people want to watch this kind of stuff. The suspense of what's going to happen next. When you finish an episode, wondering what's going to be in the next episode, you know, that kind of stuff is what just builds and builds and builds, and it makes you interested. So if it's all ruined, is there any point watching?
That actually reminds me of another type of person, another pet peeve of mine. You're watching a movie with somebody that has seen the movie before, and there's like a suspenseful part that's coming up.
And they go, oh, this is about to happen.
And then, they'll just say the next line, like before that the character in the show says, it's like, oh.
Because they know, and they want you to know that they know.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. They want to be the first one. They want to communicate to everybody that, oh, they're plugged in. They're cultured. They know what's going on.
I try not to do that. It's a
narcissist thing.
If I've seen something and I'm watching it with another person and I've already seen it and maybe know it and love it, I sit there and I'm, you know, silently in my head,
you're
like
eyeballing to see their reaction.
I can't wait to see what they say, what they do, how they're gonna react. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I love that because I think it's partly because I love the suspense and I don't want the spoiler. I want them to see it as it happens. You know, it's like, it's just so fun that way. I don't know.
My disdain for spoilers, I despise it with every fiber of my being, and it goes so far to the point where, like, I don't even care for trailers either. At the time that we're recording this video, Jurassic World, the last one, just came out. I'm going to be seeing it here in a couple of days, so by the time this video releases, I will have seen it by then. But I don't like seeing all the trailers on TV because I just want to watch it all, because everybody knows that a lot of the best parts of a movie are put into the trailers.
That's what I was going to say. Because of that, I feel like trailers should be limited to like 20 seconds. Get you interested, see something about the movie or show.
With the trailer being longer,
I just feel like when you make it longer, you have to show the best parts.
Teaser trailers are a thing.
I just feel like I don't want it ruined, you know, and I feel like a lot of the times you see all those best parts and then you go watch it and you're like, okay, so there was like, you're like, there's one or two things I didn't know, but I pretty much had the gist of it, you know, like, and granted, I know that's advertising and that's how they pull people in, but at the same time, it's like,
but
if Jurassic you could do Park it a different,
need to
reel people in,
it's
right? So it's like if you
years.
could do it in a way where you didn't show the most exciting parts, and the problem is it'll never happen. But if that was just a standard in media, to show not the most exciting parts to kind of get people going about it, that'll never happen because people get excited about the crazy stuff that happens. And I don't know. No spoilers.
Yeah, I think this is a relatively quick one.
Easy one.
I find it hard to believe. Now, if you're watching this and you actually do disagree with what we're saying, I mean, by all means, fill the comment section. But I think this one's going to be...
And tell us why.
Yeah.
Don't give us spoilers, though.
I think that
don't spoil
people...
Game of Thrones for me. I'm gonna have to go watch it this week.
yeah.
God, but don't tell us why. If there's a rational reason you can think of that maybe will.
But there isn't, though.
Tilt the scales.
There's one of these things. It's not like this is an opinion-based thing. This is like an objective. Like, spoilers are just not good. I don't think that anybody's gonna disagree with us on this.
I think for the most part, I agree.
And if you do disagree with us, then there's something wrong with you.
But still, please subscribe and keep watching our content.
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. Like, difference of opinion, that's what we do here. But just know that, like, your opinion's wrong. You know what I mean? That's just kind of
our opinion is fact, and your opinion's wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. Yeah.
Anyway, we had a little fun here. We're excited to see what your guys' thoughts were and what you think about, spoilers and whether you think they belong or not. We'll be having a lot more of these or no videos coming out over the coming weeks, so please stay tuned. We've got other stuff mixed in with it too. So,
and for fun in the comment section, what is a good movie or TV show or video game that has like these good moments that you just like really enjoyed watching, that you are glad that weren't spoiled for you? Like, for example, the Battle of Winterfell. That's all I will say in Game of Thrones. That is a good episode. The end sucks, but it's a good episode that I enjoyed watching raw for the first time. I'm sure everybody that watched Star Wars for the first time after that big revelation with Darth Vader and Luke, what are some good revelation type moments in media that you have seen? Share that with us in the comment section, because surely you're not going to have a difference of opinion in the comment section. So at least give us that, right?
Yeah, perfect. Now we've got both sides.
Yeah. So make sure you join us next time on Philosophy of Gaming. We'll get into some more gaming related topics in some of the future videos, but this is just a kind of a fun one that we thought that you guys might appreciate. Something a little bit different, if you will. So again,
sure.
I'm Shawn.
I'm Marshall.
So again, I'm Shawn.
And I'm Marshall.
And we'll see you next time on Philosophy of Gaming.
I'm actually quiet and like almost looking to them like, I can't wait for you to see this part. Like silently thinking to myself,
yeah,
like,
you just look over. It's like,